friends, let's pause. So this is our Christmas fruit cake. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today we are in a rush. We are going to start preparing our Christmas fruit cake. So these are all the ingredients are which is going to go in this 9-inch round tin pan, a baking tin pan. So let us go through the ingredients. There's a lot of ingredients. Of course, there's a recipe in the description. You can refer to it. But let me run through it and what we're going to do. So we have in the beginning, we have 150 grams over here of unsalted butter. It's a bit white. So this is how it looks. So you use unsalted butter. If you use salted butter, omit the salt that comes in later on. So we have 150 grams of unsalted butter. We have 150 grams of light brown sugar. If you don't have light brown sugar, just use regular granulated white sugar. It's okay. We then have 3 large eggs over here. Full eggs. We're not going to separate any eggs. Okay, so 3 full eggs. We have with us alcohol. I'm using whiskey. You can use brandy or rum. 3 tablespoons. I also have juice of 1 lime, including the zest which I've kept around here. That's the zest of the lime. I also have over here juice of 1 orange. After that, we have 1 cup of almonds. These are whole almonds. I'm going to crush them, and we have 3/4 cup of almonds which we're going to powder. We also have the dry fruits that we prepared a week back. This is marinated and we had cooked them in alcohol. So this black and golden raisins along with candied peel, which I have chopped finely. They have tutti frutti, they have glazed cherries, they have red orange candy peels, and they have pale yellow orange candy peels, which I have all chopped fine. So after that, what we have the flour. The flour is very little. It's actually 2 cups of flour. Then we have, of course, the almond flour that we're going to make of these almonds over here, which is 1/4 of a cup. We have 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We have 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We have 1.5 teaspoon of nutmeg over here. We have 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. So these are all the ingredients for baking our cake. We have our cake tin ready. So let's get on with the mixing and preparing the batter. So let me push all this at the back. I'm not going to cut the video today. It's going to be a one shot, except for the grinding part. So first what I'm going to do is, I have a little bit of flour over here, maybe a tablespoon. I'm going to add it into the dry mix over here. I may need a bigger bowl so that this gets evenly distributed in the cake. So I'm going to put in a bowl. Okay, so let's keep the bowl aside. We need it. I'm also going to add the raisins. Sorry, I want to say the alcohol soaked raisins. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of flour over here from the 2 cups. And we're going to give this mix. So this is our dry mix. Alright, so what we'll do now is, alright, so since this is done, we'll leave it aside, and we need to prepare our wet ingredients. So that includes the butter, the sugar, and the eggs. So let's put the rest at the back. What we'll do is, we'll add the sugar. Fine. And we'll add I'll put the butter in the microwave for 30 seconds so it melts. Okay, what we'll do is we'll take one egg at a time. I don't want any bad eggs going in. So break in a bowl. Check that the egg is good and we add it. Give it a mix, of course. I'm not going to use my electric mixer. We're going to use our hands. Okay, let's check the next one. So this one's good. Goes in. Let's give a mix. Let's get on with the third one. It's always good to check it before you add it. So our third one is fine. So all 3 eggs are done. Let's give it a mix. Let's check on our butter. Let's add a towel so it does not move too much. So basically we'll mix all the wet ingredients first and then the dry. Butter was in the fridge, so it's still melting. Keep on stirring so it dissolves the sugar. So before you start preparing the ingredients, you see that you line up your tin with the butter paper, parchment paper, and grease it well from all sides. So that's the butter. It looks a bit, so yeah, it's okay. So let's add it. It's not, I don't want it too hot, it's just okay. We don't want to cook our eggs. Do a mix, quick. To that we'll add our orange juice. We keep on mixing. In goes our lime, juice of 1 lime. In goes our alcohol of your choice. That's 3 tablespoons. So our wet mix is ready, and it's all with that whiskey of mine. Okay. Okay. At this time, I'm going to give a pause because I want to grind the almonds and chop the rest of the almonds for the mix. So that's the first part. Let's take a short break and we come back. Alright, so what I've done in the break, I have ground the almonds. That's 3/4 of a cup of the almonds. I've also crushed the rest of them coarsely, just like this. So that's what we want. So just give this a whisk before we start adding. Okay, what we'll do now is begin with adding the zest of the lime. salt and the baking powder, the nutmeg and the cinnamon. Give it a mix. Let's add the ground almonds. Let's add, so what you do is at this moment you start adding not all the flour, we add it in 3 batches, and what we'll do is we'll also add at the same time part of the almonds and part of the dry fruit mix. You can see this is a kilo of dry fruit, so let's add part of it. All right, let's give it a mix. It's going to be a very dense cake, and I have the oven on. It's heating up, and that will heat up to, I'm going to bake it for an hour, and initially I'll bake it at 180 degrees for 15-20 minutes, and then I'll reduce the heat to 160 and let it continue for the rest of the time for the remainder of the hour. Another batch of flour, and almonds, and let's add some of the candied fruit. You can see how dense it is. Flour content is very less in this. Okay, let's add the remainder of the flour, the remainder of the fruit, candied fruit. Let's give it a mix. And because we are not adding too much of baking powder or baking soda, this cake will not rise up so much. It will rise a little bit and then settle down to be nice, dense and firm. And maybe we can feed it with some alcohol until Christmas, a day or 2, but not needed. But we can do 1 brush at least. So our oven is hot at 180 degrees. Our batter is ready to go in our baking pan. So that's what you want, and that's what you're looking at. No edit. Let's get the dry fruit out from the cage. So, okay, yeah, that's it. Now we give a mix. Final mix before it goes. Okay, so let's bring the baking tray. Baking tray is lined to the sides and it's covering almost, you can see, just over the rim on top. So let's add. And this cake, if you prepare it, cool it and freeze it, it can stay for more than a year. Nothing will happen in the freezer. Use a smooth spatula to get all this goodness. Okay, so do we want to weigh this? Let's weigh it, right? I've never done that. You can calculate all the weight, but why not? So before we pop it in the oven, let's weigh it, and once it's out also let's weigh it. So that's a cake in a cake tin. Okay, let me get the weighing scale. Let's set this to 0. I don't know whether you can see it. Okay, it's set to 0. Let's put it here, and let me hold the camera. Bring it down over here. So that's 1 kilo 820 30 grams, 1.820 or 1.830 grams. This is how a cake looks. Okay, let's hook the camera. Alright friends, so at this moment I'm going to pop it into the oven, and we'll come back when it's done. Alright, our cake is done. So just place a knife in the center and just check to make sure. So it's come out smooth, which means it's done, it's ready. The aroma is also great and lovely browning. So what we'll do, friends, we'll leave it to cool down overnight, and when we come back tomorrow we will give it a brush of alcohol, and maybe another day or two we will put our marzipan coating on top. Alright friends, we are back with our cake after last night. I just covered it with foil, and that's how it's looking right now. What we're going to do is, let me unwrap it. Okay. We did say we're going to weigh it, so let's get in the weighing scale and weigh it. So it's 1 kilo 663 grams. So that's after all the liquids have evaporated. That's how our cake looks. Let's take a shot. Right, so what we are going to do now is, let's get the weighing scale up here. I'll put the cake aside. We are going to prepare the cover, but before that, the marzipan cover, before that I'm going to apply homemade fig jam that I have, just a small coat of it all over. And we will also add a little bit of alcohol before we do the closing. We'll do that in a second. To the sides. Okay, so the jam layer is done. Alright, so now I'm going to use a toothpick . Okay. All right. So let's drop some alcohol onto the cake. All right. So I have some alcohol. I had put whiskey earlier, and this is a liqueur. It's very strong. I'm just going to give it a brush lightly. Let's get on with the marzipan coating now. Okay, friends, we are going to roll our marzipan dough for the cake. Top of the cake, but for the bottom, the sides, we'll have to check. So let us see what happens. So that's nice. I think it should be okay. Let's get it out. See if we can roll it out onto the plastic itself. Yeah, so it is on the plastic. So let's put this aside and let us put the cake on top. So that's our cake. Friends, let's pause. So this is our Christmas fruit cake. I hope you like the recipe. I know it's quite a long recipe and it took 2 videos to complete it. We also have some beautiful mazapans prepared by wifey, and they are looking gorgeous. I hope you liked it and you do try it, and leave your comments, share, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Until then, take care and goodbye.